Hi there. Is it possible that the collective intelligence of our society is on the decline? This isn't a question we ask lightly. It is a question that has been buzzing around in our minds, lurking in the corners of our conversations, and echoing in the vast realms of social media. We live in a world of unprecedented access to information, yet there's a growing perception that people today seem more uninformed, more gullible, perhaps even more stupid than their predecessors. Is there any truth to this perception? Are we as a society indeed becoming less intelligent? Or is this simply a case of misinterpretation, a side effect of our ever-evolving complex world? These are not trivial questions. They are profound and consequential, touching on the very essence of who we are as a species. They challenge us to look deeply into our understanding of intelligence, knowledge, and wisdom. To answer this, we need to delve into the realms of research and studies conducted in this field. The 21st century has seen an exponential growth in technology and information, but has it made us smarter? In the realm of technology and information, the 21st century has been nothing short of revolutionary. We've seen the rise of smartphones, social media, and artificial intelligence. We're living in an age where information is more accessible than ever before. With a few taps on a screen, we can access the collective knowledge of humanity. Some might argue that this easy access to information has made us smarter, more informed, and more connected to the world around us. Consider the advancements in education. Technology has redefined the way we learn. Online classes, digital textbooks, educational apps, and virtual reality experiences have made knowledge more accessible, engaging, and personalized. A study by the Department of Education found that students who took all or part of their class online performed better on average than those taking the same course through traditional face-to-face instruction. Furthermore, our cognitive abilities have been enhanced by the digital age. Video games, for instance, have been found to improve problem-solving and strategic thinking skills. Research from the University of Rochester revealed that individuals who play action video games have better hand-eye coordination and visual processing abilities. Then there's the impact of the internet on our memory. A study published in the journal Memory demonstrated that the internet has become a form of transactive memory, where we remember how to find information rather than the information itself. Some might argue this isn't making us smarter, but others see it as a natural evolution of intelligence. We're adapting to our environment and utilizing the tools available to us. And let's not forget the power of social media in spreading awareness and knowledge about global issues. It's given us a platform to share information, ideas, and perspectives that we might not have been exposed to otherwise. So, there's certainly a case for increased intelligence. But what about the flip side? Some argue that the modern world, with its constant distractions and shallow entertainments, is actually making us dumber. A bold claim indeed, but is there any truth to it? Let's delve into the research and data that seems to support this theory, known as the dumbing down theory. There's a growing body of research suggesting that our current environment, with its ceaseless demands on our attention, is negatively impacting our cognitive abilities. One such study from the University of California found that being constantly connected to our devices can lead to shorter attention spans and reduced memory capacity. It's as if our brains are being rewired to skim and scan, rather than to delve deep and truly understand. Meanwhile, a study from the University of Sussex claimed that people who frequently use multiple devices simultaneously, a habit known as media multitasking, have lower gray matter density in certain brain regions. This could potentially be linked to cognitive and emotional control, as well as decision-making. On the other hand, we have the overstimulation argument. The sheer amount of information we're exposed to on a daily basis is staggering. Some argue that this information overload can lead to cognitive fatigue, making it harder for us to focus, think critically, and make informed decisions. But it's not just about our brains. The dumbing down theory also points to the potential impact on our social skills. With so much of our communication happening through screens, there's a concern that we're losing the ability to read social cues and engage in meaningful face-to-face interactions. However, these studies are not without their critics. Some researchers argue that these changes in our brains and behavior are not necessarily a sign of decreasing intelligence, but rather a sign of adapting to a new environment. Clearly, there's a compelling argument for both sides. But how do we reconcile these conflicting views? Well, that's a question that we'll continue to explore in the next scene. Enter the Flynn effect, a theory that might just help us solve this conundrum. Now, what exactly is this Flynn effect? Named after the esteemed psychologist James Flynn, this theory proposes a fascinating idea that each generation is, in fact, smarter than the last. Yes, you heard that right. We might be getting brighter, not dimmer. Flynn discovered this trend when he noticed a consistent and substantial increase in IQ scores over the decades. This wasn't just happening in one country or region. No, it was a global phenomenon. In the span of a century, the average IQ has shot up by about 30 points. So, if you were a genius in the early 20th century, you might just be of average intelligence today. An intriguing thought, isn't it? But how does this happen? Flynn suggests that modern life, with its complexity and ever-changing nature, requires us to think more abstractly and problem-solve more effectively. We're not necessarily becoming more knowledgeable, but we're becoming better at using what we know. The rapid advance of technology, the prevalence of symbol-based activities like computer usage, and the increased demand for critical thinking in our jobs and education, all these factors are shaping our cognitive abilities. So could the Flynn effect reconcile the conflicting views on intelligence? It's a compelling argument. On one hand, we have the concern about the dumbing down of society, the fear that we're losing our mental sharpness. On the other hand, we have evidence suggesting we're becoming more intelligent. The Flynn effect bridges this gap, suggesting it's not about more or less intelligence, but a different kind of intelligence. But even this theory has its critics. So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us in a world where intelligence is not a simple, one-dimensional attribute. It's a complex, multifaceted trait that's continually evolving. And that's a pretty smart conclusion to draw, don't you think? It's important to remember that intelligence is a complex trait, influenced by a variety of factors. So, let's delve into the labyrinth of intelligence and try to unravel some of its complexities. First off, intelligence isn't a single, standalone entity. It's a cocktail of different abilities like problem-solving, reasoning, memory, attention, and language understanding. Each of these abilities can be strong in one person and less so in another, creating a unique intelligence profile for each of us. So, comparing intelligence across generations is like comparing apples to oranges, or in this case, a fruit salad to a fruit smoothie. Now let's move to the ingredients of this cocktail. Two major factors that influence intelligence are genetics and environment. Yes, your intelligence is partly inherited from your parents, but it's also shaped by your surroundings and experiences. A stimulating environment can enhance intelligence, while a deprived one can hinder it. Consider this. A child growing up with access to a plethora of educational resources like books and internet would naturally have a different intellectual development compared to a child from a century ago who might not have had the same opportunities. But does that mean one is inherently smarter than the other? Not necessarily. Moreover, our perception of intelligence has evolved over time. In the past, intelligence was often measured by rote memorization and the ability to follow instructions. Today we value critical thinking, creativity, and emotional intelligence just as much, if not more. All these factors contribute to the complexity of intelligence and make it hard to definitively say whether people are smarter or more stupid today. The yardstick for intelligence has changed, the environment has changed, and even our understanding of intelligence has changed. So in the end, the question might not be as simple as it first appears. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube that's constantly changing its colors. It's fascinating, complex, and yes, a little bit tricky. But isn't that what makes the study of intelligence so incredibly intriguing? Are we smarter or more stupid than our predecessors? The answer, it seems, is complicated. We've discussed the ever-evolving nature of intelligence and how it's not as black and white as it may appear. We've delved into the concept of the 21st century intelligence, where the rapid advancements in technology and the digital age have changed the way we perceive and measure intelligence. We've also explored the dumbing down theory and its counter-argument, the Flynn effect, demonstrating how intelligence is influenced by various factors and can fluctuate over time. The complexity of intelligence is undeniable, It's more than just a number on an IQ test. As we continue to explore and understand the intricacies of intelligence, it's important to remember that intelligence is not static, but dynamic. It evolves with us, shaping and being shaped by our changing world. In the end, perhaps the most important thing is not how our intelligence compares to those who came before us, but how we use our intelligence to shape the world of tomorrow. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.